Namaskar, Nilesh Oak here again, bringing you part 2 of Bharat Dinadarshika. So, in this part, we are going to look at the names of Indian solar months or Bharatiya Saura Masa. All right, so let me take you to the PowerPoint. All right, so here. So, what you are seeing is a reference from Taittiriya Samhita, and the specific verses I'm quoting here are 4.4.11. All right, what you are seeing here are the different names of the rutus, seasons, and also the corresponding Saura Masa or solar months. For example, it begins with Madhuscha Madhavascha Vasantika Rutu. Okay, so in Vasanta Rutu, or the 2 months of Vasanta Rutu, are Madhu and Madhava. Now these are solar months. Okay, these are Saura Masa, and not to be confused with the Chandra Masa, such as Chaitra, Vaishak, Jeshta, Ashad, Shravan, Bhadrapad, etc. Okay, and so what we have on the screen is the list of 6 rutus and 2 months each for each of those rutus. Okay, and here is a quick translation. Now what I'm going to do is going to take you to next screen and show you how that appears in terms of as seen from the earth and as seen in the sky, the position of the sun with respect to the earth and with respect to the cardinal points in astronomy, which is what? The equinoxes and solstices. All right, so because I'm explaining the solar calendar with a solar Indian solar months or Saura Masa, I am going to begin at a very specific point. Okay, so because we are observing it from the earth is at the center. Okay, and we are looking up at the sky. That is not to confuse with who is rotating around who. In the solar system, sun is at the center, all other planets including earth is rotating around the sun. However, because for the calendar it is the things in the sky as seen from the earth, therefore earth is shown at the center. All right, so that's our earth. And what you are seeing is this big circle, and if you notice there are 27 numbers, that those represent 27 nakshatra in the sky. So nakshatra space, and you can also think of that as a specific yogatara. Now if you already know what the nakshatras are, or the nakshatra space or nakshatra yogatara, great. If not, we have to do this some other time, but understand that it's a reference system. Okay, and again, in the whole spirit of swadhyaya and tapasya, I'm going to ask you to go to Google or Wikipedia and try searching with these terms such as cardinal points, equinoxes, solstices, or summer solstice, winter solstice, spring equinox, fall equinox, also nakshatra, and read about it. Okay, that's how we are going to learn and reestablish a accurate and precise Indian lunisolar calendar. It's not a one man's job, it's not a job of few people. You cannot outsource, okay, what you need to know to somebody else to spoon feed you. I cannot repeat this enough times. Okay, all right, so that's a nakshatra reference system. Now what I'm showing with that green inner circle is the ecliptic, that is the path of the sun that is as seen from the earth. Okay, so now let's begin with the first point of the position of the sun which is when a solar year would begin in the Indian calendar system. And where does it begin? To understand it, we need to know the reference point. Okay, so I'm going to show another position of the sun and going to draw a reference point. This second sun that I have drawn is the position of the spring equinox, okay, as seen from the earth. In a Gregorian calendar, which is the very first line in the Bharat Dinadarshika, the day of spring equinox will fall around 23rd March. And for our practical discussion, we are going to call it 23rd March. Okay. So that's our spring equinox. Now for the beginning of an Indian solar calendar, we are actually going to go 1 month before the day of spring equinox. Also, imagine sun going around the earth and completing 1 year. Now this one complete circle is what? Divided into 360 degrees, and we have 12 solar months. So 360 degrees divided by 12 gives us 30 degrees. So what you are seeing on the screen, the distance between those two suns that are shown is of 30 degrees. Okay, so our solar year will beginning with that first sun that I have shown, and the first month of the solar year would be over on the day of spring equinox. If we go further another 30 degrees, okay, that will be the end of the second month. And this entire time interval of 2 months, okay, around plus minus 30 degree of the spring equinox, we call it Vasanta Rutu or spring season. Okay, all right. Now if you go further another 30 degrees and you have another solar month, okay, now this would be the end of the first month of a Grishma Rutu. And if you go still further, now we have the point of summer solstice. In Gregorian calendar, it is 21st June. And the sun I'm showing up there. So now going from this second sun, or let's go backward. From 21st June, if you go 30 degrees backward, that's the second month of Grishma Rutu. And if you go another 30 degrees, that's the first month of Grishma Rutu. Okay, now we are going to continue in this anti-clockwise fashion. So beginning with summer solstice, we go further the journey of sun through additional 30 degrees, and that would be the first month of Varsha Rutu. If you go additional 30 degrees, that's the second month of Varsha Rutu. Now Varsha Rutu ends here, and we have a beginning of a Sharad Rutu. So first month of Sharad Rutu, and now we are at the point exactly opposite of the spring equinox. We are going to call this point autumnal equinox or fall equinox. In the Gregorian calendar, it will occur on 23rd September. All right, now we are at the middle of the Sharad Rutu. We have to go 1 more month, another 30 degrees journey of the sun. And now the Sharad Rutu has ended, and now Hemanta Rutu begins. So we go another 30 degree. The first month of Hemanta Rutu ends at this point. Another 30 degree, the second month of Hemanta Rutu ends, and this is the point of winter solstice. In Gregorian calendar, that's 21st December. We have 1 more Rutu to go. So from the point of winter solstice, if we go in this anti-clockwise direction, another 30 degree, that is the 30 degree travel of the sun, we have got the first month of the Shishira Rutu, and I don't have to draw it again. Now between that point and the beginning of the year, okay, the previous year, but of course when we reach that, complete the cycle, the new solar year would begin, and that would be the second month of Shishira Rutu. Now the names of the solar months that I showed you on the previous slide, we are going to superimpose those. So let's begin with the first month of Vasanta Rutu. This name, this month, solar month or Saura Masa, in Indian calendar system, as I showed you in Taittiriya Samhita, is called Madhu. Okay, so the second month of Vasanta Rutu is, I made a mistake there. It should be Madhava, and I hope I haven't made additional mistakes. So forgive me. So the first month of Vasanta Ritu is Madhu. The second month of Vasanta Ritu is Madhava. Let's go further. The next two solar months, Shukra and Shuchi, these are the solar months of Grishma Ritu. All right. So let's go further. Next 2 months, Nabha and Nabhasya. These are the solar months of the Varsha Ritu. Then the next two, Isha and Urja, these are the two solar months of Sharad Ritu. Then Saha and Sahasya, these are the solar months of the Hemanta Ritu. And finally, Tapa and Tapasya are the 2 months of the Shishira Ritu. Only one Ritu that I made a mistake. I typed it. I forgot to, I just repeated the mistake there. So just remember, the 2 months of Vasanta Ritu are not Madhu and Madhu, but they are Madhu, the first one, and the second one is Madhava. All right. So these are the solar months that you are going to see in Bharat Dinadarshika. For example, right now we are going to approach the point of summer solstice. Okay, very, very soon. We are at the end of May, another 21, 22 days, and it will be the 21st June and the timing of summer solstice. So our current solar month should be Shuchi. And I want you to look at Bharat Dinadarshika and confirm that it indeed shows as a Shuchi, okay? That shows in the Saura date, and it also shows in the Saura Masa, all right? So there are 6 seasons. The solar year, Indian solar year, begins with the Vasanta Ritu, which begins 30 days, approximately 30 days, I should say, before the day of spring equinox, and it also goes for another month after spring equinox, and then we go through this cycle. In another episode, I will discuss how the specific length of each solar month is decided. Okay, it is not fixed like 30 days, and it is not arbitrarily fixed the way it is done in Gregorian calendar. For example, Gregorian calendar uses 31 days for January, 28, 29 days for February, 31 days for March, and so on. These are arbitrary and they are fixed. In case of the Indian solar months, and the way you are going to see this in Bharat Dinadarshika, they are not arbitrary. Okay, there is a perfect logic to it. But for that very reason, their length is not exactly fixed. Okay, it's approximately similar. It can be predicted, but it's not exactly fixed. And we will discuss that why it is not exactly fixed, what is the logic behind it, and how it perfectly matches with what is actually occurring in the sky in another episode of Bharat Dinadarshika. All right, so with that, I am going to stop sharing, and also I will stop the recording. Okay, namaskar.